from being in Houston the previous 2 years and watching all these Houston artists making so much money selling shit out their trunk and in the mom and pop stores. Had the same attitude, like it wouldn't matter where.
Oh, this Jim Jones. He's speaking a little bit about behind the scenes and the things that happened on not on Roc-A-Fella, but when he moved on to his own thing, because he wasn't with the Rock. He came a little later with Dipset. But he talked about how Dame Dash laughed at him for asking for $1 million, and he went to Koch and he got that money for ballin.
You know, kind of like maybe when the split happened, when they made Cam vice president. Did you guys feel like you had to choose sides between Dame and Jay at the time?
Nah, I didn't have a side to choose. I chose whatever side Cam chose.
Okay, the split happens. After that, right after that is when you go to Koch?
Yeah, somewhere around there, something like that. Or maybe a little bit before that. Like I tell people, I tried to get $1 million from Dame. Dame laughed at me. And he chose to do the Koch deal.
He didn't see the value.
I knew that I would make more than $1 million.
But you believed in yourself. That's what's up.
And being independent was a thing that I've seen from being in Houston the previous 2 years and watching all these Houston artists making so much money selling shit out their trunk and in the mom and pop stores. Had the same attitude, like it wouldn't matter where these kids get the records from, as long as it's on, as long as they see the Diplomat bird on it. They wouldn't give a if it's Def Jam, Atlantic,
right.
Mom and Pop. They just want to see what the bird is about.
How many people turned you down at that time?
As far as what?
As far as giving you a deal?
Nobody.
Nobody, okay.
Cam was turning down deals for the Diplomats at that time that I had no idea about, but yeah, there was a lot of deals being offered to them for Diplomats.
Was there a reason why you guys chose not to sign a deal like that?
As far as what, for myself or for Diplomats?
For both, or the group.
My deal was separate. I wasn't signed to Diplomats at all. I'm not a Diplomat artist. Juelz is a Diplomat artist. He was signed to Cam. Cam is the owner of Diplomat Records.
Okay. Did you eventually go to Koch?
Yeah, go to Koch under the same premise of Diplomats, with Diplomat Bird, Diplomat Records, but I'm my own entity.
Now, I thought I seen this a while ago, man. Did Cameron ever sue you about using the Diplomats logo?
He couldn't sue me about using the Diplomat logo. I mean, he had took the trademark for the Bird Gang logo. I mean, at that time, me moving fast was all about making money. Smart as I was, there's a few things that I skipped over without, crossing my T's and dotting my I's. And trademark and logos and names was something I wasn't really thinking about, especially for somebody else that I know would do it instead of putting me onto it. But that's neither here nor there.
Okay, well, Ballin drops, or We Fly High drops. I think mostly everybody calls it Ballin, but and this thing goes crazy.
Ballin was dope. Ballin is my Michael Jackson head.
What was the process of putting the song together?
A Ballin?
Yeah.
I don't even remember that shit. I forgot what studio it was at. I think it was in Sony studio or some shit. I had this record. Remember, the Franchise Boys was on the record, but my label needed a single. They had my back against the wall. They wanted to use this Calic single called Reppin' Time. I didn't want to use it at the time. Still stuck in my New York ways. So I ended up taking them off in the studio, looking at the Puffy and Nelly shit. They forgot what the shit where they singing, the girl was singing the hook and the guy was singing the hook. I'm like, I gotta do a record, something like that. End up catching the hook, end up telling my man, call his baby moms down to do the second half of the hook. That's how it was done.
I seen somewhere that Tupac was an ad-lib on the song, or?
No, Tupac, I got Tupac is the one who inspired me to do ad-libs the way I do. If you listen to any of Tupac music, his ad-libs are super duper dope.
What's up? This is Kim.
So that was a good part of the story, but then he said he turned around after making that deal with Koch, and things ain't play out as I'm sure he would have liked.
Do you think that the label made off this one single?
Woo. if I burnt through 20 M's, then you could imagine what the label made.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah, we got to spend hammer numbers.
And this is independent.
I mean, yeah, between touring shows and everything, that shit was coming fast in all different directions. In a few years, not being responsible, and that shit gone.
Damn.
Between a couple investments and all that type of shit also, but yeah.
That's a lot
No
of paper.
regrets though. Still pissed off about a couple of them, but no regrets.
And rappers still making the same mistakes today. That's what's so crazy.
Did you like working with Koch?
I like working with anybody who's going to be fair and pay right. I never received $1 from Koch besides advance money. And I ended up finding out that I was in a crazy deal with me being so young and moving so fast that it didn't sink into me at the time that I need to pay more attention to the actual business that I'm doing instead of worrying about being the artist that I wanted to become. But I need to become that artist so I could get the business. And right now I'm trying to figure out the matrix of how I could get all my masters back and all that.
Okay, so
Yeah, I mean, it's easy for us to say, oh, you blew that money, you made that bad deal, or blah, 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 blah. But if you're in a situation, sometimes you do what's best for you at the moment. Not saying it's correct. Maybe that's not the best long-term deal. Perhaps he could have looked at it differently. But at that moment, I like to see a lot of y'all out there that's talking like that, address with the check, with the money on the table, what decisions you would make. I mean, it's easy to say you go to Master P route and turn it down and all this other stuff, but many people do not.
though you were signed as an independent artist, you still didn't get your masters. That's crazy.
Yeah, because I wasn't signed as an independent artist. That was the whole thing. We thought we were signing as indie. It's just that Koch was an independent record label, meaning they were a real record label. You heard, and they was giving out people real record deals, but they had the power to distribute real records like a real label, but they wasn't as big as a Def Jam or as big as Atlantic. So they were naming those independent labels because they were pushing
He's trying to get there off your back.
records pretty much on their own merit. We took it as we were independent. We wasn't. But we was getting so much money it didn't matter. You heard? It looked good. But when you look back at it in real time, shit was all fool's gold.
Damn. Wow. Damn.
Not the damn. It's a dirty
That's
it's
cold,
a dirty
man,
game, right? And that ain't no nobody but me. You know, this is an era. I'm from an era where they say the game is to be sold, not told. So they appease you with money before they tell you what you need to know to make some money. And I got caught up in that matrix.
He accepted
As smart
responsibility.
as I am, I wasn't that smart, but you can't go in a surgery room and think you're gonna perform a surgery if you've never even been to medical school.
Right.
You know what I mean? So besides us being artists and talented, us being smart had nothing to do with not knowing the business that we knew nothing about. And at that point,
That's it. It's show business, baby. Business is a much bigger word than show, as they always say. All right, moving forward.